So, Agnes Tachyon, why is she so good in teen trials? Allow me to explain. Start with the stat bonuses. She has 20% speed, which is really good because it means you can only run two speed cars on her and you can still hit max speed. The secondary guts, obviously this is useless, but having 20% speed is just still really good. So now we look at her unique skill. Um it's basically just a free gold recovery, though it's slightly more when you level it up. But if you only have Tachyon 1 star or 2 star, it's gonna give you a lot less recovery. It's about equal to a white. So I do recommend, if you're using her, to try to get Tachyon to 3 star, because it could be the difference between life or death for your horse. Um, you can either just keep pulling horse banners and eventually you'll probably have your 3 star, or you can use statues, which is what I did. But I would say for Tachyon, having her 2 star still isn't unplayable just because she has so much recoveries that it's probably fine. Because you get Goraman from Special Week, and I'll go over what she has uh in a little bit. The other gold recovery. Okay, so innate skills. The good one is standard distance, because the majority of the tracks on medium are standard distance, and the highest distance track, the 2400 track, is a standard distance, so this will lower your stamina requirement by 40. Don't level it up to get the double circle, because it doesn't give extra score if it is double circle, so it's not worth it. Don't do that. Okay, this skill is useless. But let's look at our other skills. Medium straightaways. Um, straightaways are one of the best skills on like everybody, because it activates very easily. You just have to be on any straight, and as a bonus, these skills also do give a lot of distance, so that in mind. Though you're only gonna have it um 1 circle, not double circle, because it's team trials. But still, it's still a decent amount of distance. And this skill you can ignore because you can't activate that, because you have to have her in the pace chaser role to activate her ult. So you're not actually ever activating this, because you have to be towards the back. So that's never happening. So okay. Medium corners, it's just medium straights, but it's on a corner instead. So it's really good. Now, this skill is really good. It's expensive, but you get another gold. Um, I think you just need to be um towards the front, the 50%, which you should be because you're a pace chaser. So it will basically activate like pretty much most of the time. And it's mid race, so it's right before the um last stretch, but it's late enough to where you have exhausted a decent amount of stamina. So this skill will give you like 200 extra stamina, which is very good because it means you don't have to build as much stamina. So, what do all these skills mean? Well, it means you can just have a build where you pretend you're running a sprint horse, but you're actually running a medium horse. This means you don't have to build any stamina for her because you have so much recovery, and then you can just hit max speed, then the rest goes into wit pretty much. So what happens is your horse ends up having a ridiculous amount of wit. So what does this extra wit mean? It means you're activating more skills, which means you're getting more score, which all these skills that are easy to activate, like medium straights, medium quarters, that combined with the wit makes her the best horse for medium for score, which means she is the best ace in the game, and she is free to play friendly because everyone should have her. Okay, so on to how you should build her. Okay, so you can see this is my current Tachyon for team trials. See, I built her. Um, bunch of recoveries. Probably like this is probably too many, but it is what it is. I also gave her Creeks unique just for even more stamina. You can do this if you want and copy me, but it will be a lot of work to make a Creek parent. But it is an option, so just keep that in mind. Now onto the support build. Um, what I recommend is you put Ketis on, and then you put Special Week into your deck as your only 2 speed. The reason you only want 2 is because she has that 20% bonus, so it's enough to hit max speed. You can see I did. Put Tazuna in your deck with this team trials, and the rest of the cards are basically wit. Just put your best wit cards in the deck, reach 34% race bonus, and you're set, basically. Also, make sure your parents are giving stamina. You want to inherit stamina so you don't have to ever click it in the run. You can see stamina, 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 stamina. Yeah. So with this much stamina parents, you just never have to click stamina, which means you don't need a stamina card in your deck. So why is Super Creek so good? I'll explain. Her stat bonuses are very good. 20% wit. This is very, very good for team trials because you want a ton of wit, and this gives you more. And her secondary of stamina, you can click stamina occasionally just for some like extra, just in case. If like a lot of your cards with training effectiveness land on stamina, you can pump out a little bit more stamina, which is pretty good. You look at her unique. It's basically tachyons, but I think it's slightly harder to activate. But it's pretty much the same skill in that it gives the same amount of recovery. If we look at her innate skills, this one is usually too expensive to buy. Um, so you can usually ignore it unless you get it discounted somehow. I don't know, but Ram, this will also probably cost you much without hints, but this gold is very cheap. It's like 2/3 the cost of a regular gold. The only problem is it will like buff the other racers because for some reason vision skills are bugged. So keep that in mind, but you don't actually care because I think you take it just for the score anyways. So the fact that it's a very cheap gold, just take it. It's pretty good. Now, hesitant pace chasers will be very cheap. Will activate pretty much all the time because you just need there to be a pace chaser on the race, and there probably will be another one. So it probably will activate. Now, this skill, we all know how good Swinging Maestro is. It recovers stamina on a corner, and it's always a corner before the last stretch. So it will be at the optimal time to recover. And having Swinging Maestro is good because it means you get another gold recovery in addition to your unique. So you basically have two gold recoveries base, which is like 400 extra stamina. So pretty much the same as what I said earlier for Tachyon. You just don't need to build as much stamina. So you get extra wit. You also get extra wit from that fat 20%. So she's a really good horse if you want to wit max for the optimal score. And now onto her build. So this is my current quick for team trials. You can see I didn't hit max speed. That's because I failed a plus 70 speed training, which is very fun. It was like a 20% too, so yeah, it happens. But you can see I did the same thing I did on Tachyon. I gave them the others unique. This is Tachyons. This is basically a white skill in terms of output. And you can see I have Maestro, Gourmand. So this is like plus 600% stamina. I mean, yeah, plus 600 stamina. Now let's look at how I built her. I used 3 speed because she has 0% base bonus. So it will be hard to hit max speed with only 2. So I just use 3. And then I use Tizuna, right? Because that should be in your deck. And then the rest of my cards were with cards. Just put your 2 best with cards in here. 2 is fine, probably because she has 20%, so you can hit like a lot of it with only 2. And we can check the appearance. I did the same thing I did with Tachyon. I tried to inherit stamina. Um, these are just more stamina appearance. This is the same parent I used before. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Just build as much weight as you can for both horses. And just pray your recoveries don't miss.